Good morning, everyone. I'm up here in Redding, California, and we're here with Kodie Helmer from, I don't even know where you're from, sis.
Indiana.
Indiana? Okay. I thought you were from like Georgia, but that's where Fallon's from or something. I can't keep track of all these people. But I just love her. I think I met her, I always try to remember where I met people, in Hawaii. That was, I think, one of my first times, maybe. And she's just a dynamite girl, and I'm not even going to waste a lot of time because I just want to hear from her, all of her jewels in her brain. So thank you again for doing this for us today, and I'm just going to zip my mouth and let you go.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm so excited to share my story. I'm going to kind of share a little bit of my health testimony and my business testimony, and then I kind of give you my best tips. And recruiting is kind of my thing. So I'm really excited to talk about that. So, okay, I'm going to share a little bit of a personal story with you. Some of you might not have heard this, but belief is such a huge part of my story. And I want you guys to know where that kind of comes from. So I come from a long line of destructive behavior. My parents were drug addicts and alcoholics. My dad was extremely physically abusive and verbally abusive, which is sometimes worse. I mean, let's just be honest. But so were their parents and their parents. I mean, a long line of this type of behavior. And so I grew up kind of not really believing in a whole lot. And so you're probably wondering, why on earth are you talking to us about belief, right? Well, I found myself about 20 years old, and I was living that life that I thought that I was doomed to live, right? I was married already to a guy who was just like my father, only he lacked the one good thing that my father had, and that was work ethic. So I had these two little tiny babies, and I was living that life. And, just one day I decided it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't good enough for my children. And somebody had to break this cycle that had gone on for so long. And I thought, why not me? And I was scared and I didn't know what to do. I started doing some hard things, and I ended up breaking the cycle, you guys. I married a wonderful guy. I divorced that guy. I was in the pawn shop ripping out my earrings, trying to pay for this thing. So I did some hard things, and it wasn't pretty, but it was worth it. Okay. And so I broke that cycle, and there's empowerment in that. There's power in deciding that you're going to do something, and failure is not an option, right? So 10 years later, I'm 30 years old. Plexus scrolls through my Facebook newsfeed, and I found myself kind of in a similar situation in that I wasn't where I wanted to be in my life. I had a beautiful family that my husband and I prayed for. We've got 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. But I wasn't the mom that I wanted to be then. My health was bad. I was overweight. And you guys, I'm 5'1" on a good day. That's what I tell people. But I was pushing 150, and some women, they can hold their weight really well, right? That was not me. I had it in all the wrong areas. It was very unhealthy looking weight. But I was also dealing with some serious health issues, some embarrassing stomach issues and different things, but I wasn't where I wanted to be, especially as a mom. I was stressed out. I was exhausted. I just wanted to take a nap. I was snapping at the kids all day. And I remember going to bed feeling really guilty about it most nights. But I started Plexus for weight loss because that's all that I thought it was for weight loss. And so 3 weeks into my journey on the products, I was already noticing I was sleeping a little bit better. I was falling asleep without my sleeping medication. I wasn't snapping at the kids as much. I used to say, back then I would say that I felt more awake than I ever have. And now I know that was brain fog. I mean, so many of us dealt with that, right? You feel that fog lifting and you just feel alive or something. So that's kind of how I described it back then. But I was just feeling better. But I got on the scale, you guys, at 3 weeks into my Plexus journey, and I was like, this is going to be great. And I get on the scale, and I had not lost an ounce, and I thought, this stuff stinks. I need a refund. What is this mess that I'm taking? And so my husband was like my voice of reason, right? He says, you're noticing these things. These are really important. You're not picking your nails all day. You're sleeping better, all of these things. Let's keep going. You said you were going to do this. Let's keep going and see what happens. So I tell my team, be your person's person. Be that person for them, because it is so easy, especially for us ladies now, to get on the scale and not see the numbers move and get discouraged. So I train my team to check in often and be that person's person. Okay, that encouragement, and point out the small victories. So the small victories I was having, I started to see the real value in that, although I was still like looking like kind of sideways, like, when am I going to lose these 20 pounds, whatever. But I started to see the real value in these little other victories. So I started sharing. And what kind of pushed me to go all in the business really quickly was I was on Googling or YouTube, I think it was YouTube, and I came across a video of Sonia Dudley, and she was sitting in her living room. She's looking at the camera, and she says, I used to care what people thought about me until I tried to pay my bills with their opinions. And for me, that was like my aha moment. Like, I need to do this, because at that point I still hadn't lost my weight, but and I was still dealing with a little bit of health issues and different things, but we were also broke. And so I remember calling my sponsor, that's Fallon Black, and just saying, I don't know what this is, girl, but I'm fixing to do it. I didn't even know what multi-level marketing was at that point. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But again, just like I did 10 years before, I made a decision. I am going to do this. Not, I think I'm going to give this a whirl. I think I can, all of those things. So that's another thing. I train my team. You have to make that decision. That failure is not an option. You tell your loved ones, I love you and I hope that you'll do this with me, but if you don't, that's okay, because I'm going to do it anyway type of attitude. And that's what you need, right? So I decided that I was going to go all in with the business. And I'm so glad that my husband was my person and pushed me to keep going, because after 6 months, I was able to surpass his police officer's salary. He's been a police officer for 11 years. And I went emerald in 14 months from the day that I joined. So, I mean, it's just been life changing, and the money is amazing. And I'm a red. I love the recognition and the prizes and all of those things. But I can pinpoint a moment where I felt successful. And it wasn't at emerald, you guys. It was at about, gosh, I want to say, senior gold, maybe ruby-ish area. But I remember it was wintertime, and we paid our bills, and I got online and I ordered all 6 kids coats and boots for winter. After I placed that order, you guys, and I'm a totally one of those people who puts stuff in their cart and never checks out because I don't want to pay the shipping or whatever it is. But I ordered all the kids their stuff, and then I totally freaked out. I called my husband at work and was like, I think we forgot to pay a bill. I think that we forgot to pay our rent, or we forgot to do something, because I was just able to buy all the kids winter coats and boots, and we still have money left over. And that was just not normal for us. So he had to go through, reassure me that we paid all of our bills. But just being able to do that meant so much to me. So another thing I tell my teams, like, you guys, emerald is amazing, and it is important to dream big and all of those things, but you are successful at gold. You are successful at senior gold, ruby, and so on and so forth, because this is life-changing money. I mean, those little moments meant so much more to me than being able to go to Hawaii and all these things, which is incredible. But you know what I'm saying? So so that's kind of my story, really. And so my best tips, I guess, you guys, are to believe that you can. You tell your team to believe that they can, decide that they're going to do it, right? Tell them to be their people's person, push them. That the 3-week to 1 month mark is really, really crucial. I think that's when a lot of people decide to quit because they don't understand what's happening to their bodies. They're so hyper focused on the scales. Maybe going through detox, right? They don't get it. So it freaks them out. And it's so easy to quit if you don't have somebody right there saying, remember why you did this. Point out those small victories and different things like that. So that's kind of my story. You guys want to talk a little bit about recruiting? Do you guys have any specific questions maybe about recruiting, or?
Maybe you could share how you get people to how you're getting your people. How are you getting most of your people?
Okay, I do the same thing with everybody.
Yes,
so
that's really important to let everyone know that it's repeat, wash, cycle, or whatever, over and over and over. We talked about it last night with Helen and Ame at Pyramid, and they said the same thing. But people do it, and then they're like, "This isn't working," and then they quit.
So, yeah, absolutely. And that consistency is so important. So what I do is I reach out to somebody and just say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm really excited about it. I really think that you would like this. Would it be okay if I sent you some more information? That is it. That's all I say. Just keep it so simple. And when they say, sure, you can send me some information, I always send Jennifer Pickett's little triplex video. I really like that one. There's so many, but I really like that one because it is, she gets all of the really important information into a really small video. People are busy, you guys, and so sending them this 10, 20, 30 minute, sometimes longer video is just it's not going to happen. So I send them that video and I say, is this something that you think that you would be interested in? And if they say yes, I try to close the deal right then. And so what that looks like is, do you have 5 minutes to get on and get your products ordered? I say, you need the triplex combo. This is exactly what you need. And I sound confident in that, so they believe that this is what they need. Don't give them options. I just sign them up, and with the triplex welcome pack. That's it. You got to close the deals. But also the follow through is really, really important. And that is being your people's person, checking in on them often, making sure that they don't get to that 3-week mark and step on the scale like me and want to quit and throw their plexus out the window. But whatever that looks like for you or your team, put them in the team page, make sure that they're engaged, invited to the team calls, things like that.
Do you reach out when you're saying you're doing these messages? Are those all messages? Or are you on the phone with them, or voice messaging? Or
voice messaging is huge. That is so important, just because they can hear your voice and your excitement. And that's another thing, is just be excited. And if you're having one of them days where you can't turn it on, that is a day that maybe you should be doing personal growth or something else, because when you're talking to people, they need to hear that excitement. But yeah, voice messages are really, really important. I do a lot of those, do a lot of messaging. Now, when I get on the phone is usually when I'm walking them through the sign-up process. I like to get on the phone because when someone's on the computer, it's so easy for them to be like, I don't know. But when you're on the phone with them, that just doesn't happen. It hasn't happened for me. I've never had someone say, I think I changed my mind in the middle of a phone call. So yeah, getting on the phone is really important to walk.
Okay, you talked a little bit about your follow-up with them, like once they're started, and to keep them and to make them become lifers, what I call them. Can you do a little bit about that, like a little more in depth on how you do that? Do you put them in a group chat? Do you like have them call in every week, or how do you do that?
Well, they immediately go into the team page, which has a lot of great info, but that personal, that connection is really important. So I always message them either with a voice message or just a normal message when they get their products. Make sure they know how to take their products a week later and every week, once a week, and at least for the first month. Yes. That's really important. Yep. And then after that, maybe once every 2 weeks, just, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? Are you noticing anything? Most people will say, I haven't lost weight yet, right? But then I try to push those small victories out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you noticing that you're sleeping better? Are you noticing this, or this? And then usually say, now that I think about it, I haven't been drinking that much soda. And anything that they say, any victory, I make a big deal out of it. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yep.
Something like that. So they feel like, okay, well, maybe this is working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you, when they sign up, then you ask them, or tell them, or ask them if this, so I'm going to check up on you and I'm going to tell you? How do you say that part?
No, I don't really say anything. I just message them or call them or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I know some people are like, well, I don't really want to bug them or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's
oh no,
you're going to have attrition so bad.
Yeah, it's not about you at that point. It's not about you or what they think, or I'm just trying to get a sale and I don't want to be pushy. It's not about you. It's about them. And if you really care about these people and you want them to have success on the products, you have to do that. That's a part of it. That's your job, really, is to make sure that you're leading them to success. Yeah.
So what do you do to help them see the vision of, like, sharing? Because most people are going to say, oh, I don't want to do it as a business. So what do you say about that?
I kind of expose them to the business right away. I don't lead with the business per se, but as soon as someone signs up, I always say, oh my gosh, congratulations. I'm so excited that you've decided to take control of your health with Plexus. You're going to love this. I'm so happy to have you. I love helping people get healthy. Do you know 3 people that we could help together get healthy? And a lot of times people say, yeah, I think my mom would like this. I think my sister would like this. I think my cousin would like this, or whatever. And so that's how I get the ball rolling. And I say, girl, we could get your products for free. Just helping 3 people that you love and care about get started with you or do this with you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are really receptive to that. Mm-hmm. Some people say no, and that's okay if they say no. It's not for everybody. But I do believe that they will come around and they'll want to share eventually. Mm-hmm. But I always give them that opportunity right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. So the power of 3 is really something big in your downline, the power of 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And getting people to silver in that first month, when they're really excited, is really important. Mm-hmm. And convenience orders, y'all. These convenience orders. Yeah. I mean, this is something. I have a girl on our team who has just about 100% with her convenience order. So I reached out to her and I'm like, girl, what are you saying to these people? Yeah. And so she says to these people, hey, if you're not willing to give this 60 days, maybe this isn't the right time for you. Yeah. Just initially, when she's doing that initial, and she says, yes, it's important, you guys. And it's not, again, it's people say, well, I don't want to say that because I feel like they think I'm just trying to get their sale. Mm-hmm. It's not about you, and it's not about your sale. Of course, we get money from it. We get points from it, but it's not about you. It's about them. You want to set them up for success. And we know that the percentage of people who have their convenience order off that don't reorder the next month is like mind-boggling.
80%.
Girl, it's crazy. So yeah, you just have to change that. Again, that's that mindset and that belief. You've got to change your mindset. It is not about you at that point. It is about them. You want them to be successful. And in order for them to do that, they really have to give this 60 days. If they're not willing to give this 60 days, then, they are just a retail customer, right? They're just going to one and done. Mm-hmm. So the convenience orders are important.
It's true. Now, what do you say, or how do you help pour belief into the people about maybe fast starting? Do you just kind of, if they're interested, then you encourage the fast start, or what do you do about that?
I like to mention it. I've never had anybody go fast start, but I do like to mention it and give them the opportunity to do that. I really like the video, Eric Worre's How to Recruit 20 in 30 Days. Yes. That was one of the first things that I watched, and in my first month I did that, and it really laid a nice foundation. Mm-hmm. Success loves speed. That's what I tell everybody. Success loves speed. So if you're going to do it, you need to do it, and you need to do it quickly.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we have, like 3 or 4 on our team that April's the month and they're doing that, which is cool because some of them are senior golds and golds. And what do you say to people that maybe were a senior gold and then they're back down to gold points? How about like some of that encouragement? Because
I mean, that's tough. That is really tough. But you guys, it's the nature of the
That's right.
Ferris wheel. I heard Chris McCall say this, and it's stuck in my mind. People are going to be constantly getting off, and you have to constantly be putting people on. So if you're not personally recruiting at least 3 people into your business every month, you are going to see things not going up like you want them to go up. I personally recruit a lot every month.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you've got people fall off. Figure out why. Are you doing all of the things? That is what real leadership looks like. You always point the finger back at this person. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing all the right things?
What's wrong with the internet?
Want to recruit. If not, if you're hesitating or you're struggling, maybe you need to do some personal growth. Maybe you need to work on your leadership skills or whatever it is. Why are your people not following you if you're doing all the right things, right? But I think it's important to know that there are going to be hard times. You're an entrepreneur. You are the CEO of your own business, and there is not one successful person in this world. Yes, there you go. I need that shirt.
JC Penney's $5.
I love it. But that's what it is. It's the nature of the beast. We're entrepreneurs. There are going to be hard days. There are going to be hard months. There are going to be hard years sometimes, you guys. We are so fortunate to have a part of this incredible company, right? Its growth is insane. They do so much for us. They love us so much, and they're fixing things. A lot of people don't have that. Think of the show Shark Tank. People get on there and they are beat and broken, and they have poured hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of their lives into their business. I mean, is it really that bad, you guys? It's really not. It's really not that bad. But expect hard times. They are going to happen. It's inevitable, but it's how you handle it that's going to determine, are you a successful person or are you not going to be so successful at this? You have to have those things in your tool belt. The secret weapon needs to be your why, and it has to be a good one. It has to be strong enough to get you through those times. And it just a positive attitude, you know?
Oh, that's so true. Okay, so you have about 5 minutes left, and I think I'll stop asking the questions and maybe see if a few people on here want to ask some questions. I could keep going for another hour with you. I love racking your brain. But let's, if you want to unmute right now and you have a question for her, go right ahead. Does anybody have a question for Kodie? We don't have very many on here right now, but I don't know if there's any. Okay, I'll ask one.
Okay.
You have somebody on your team that was doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden you see them stop posting and everything, and then they're telling you, well, I'm just going to step back, you know. What do you kind of do with that?
I say, honey, you've reached your lid. What are you doing to grow your lid? Because when someone gets to that point, they feel like I've done everything I can. They get this defeated kind of attitude. We all are going to hit that. That's so normal. But again, it's what you do with that. That's going to determine whether you're a success or a failure. And those two things are in your hands, not your team's hands. I mean, you're responsible for your own fate, right? So what are you doing to grow your lid? Are you willing to do it? And if they're not, that's one of these people that we hear on these videos from these successful other people in this company. You can't beat a dead horse. Right? You can't drag people with you, or you can't want it so bad for them that it magically happens. If you're not willing to grow your lid and to do that personal growth, you know, there's nothing I can do for you.
Right. Yeah. That's so true. Before we go, what are some of your favorite books that you like?
Oh gosh,
I
I'm
have
reading
so many
one.
books. What are you
I
reading?
do too. I'm reading one right now.
I'd love to hear because I always get
Me,
more.
yeah, Me, Myself, and Lies is one that I'm reading right now. And I believe that the author is Jennifer Rothschild.
Okay.
That's a really good one. I really like the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth.
Okay.
21 Laws of Leadership is amazing. Oh man. One book, and this one's so simple, but one book that really helped me in my business was the 4 Color Personalities of MLM.
Yes. Uh-oh. We're frozen.
You freeze all the time, and she just turned off.
Okay.
Me too. But there are so many. Oh my gosh. There are so many books.
Oh, I know. My bookshelf's getting like crazy.
Yes. Another one that was life-changing for me was, oh gosh, what is it called? Tony Robbins. How to Awaken the Giant Within. Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay.
So good.
The giant. Okay. I'm writing these all down.
Yeah.
I have a whole page of notes.
Yay. I am so glad that I was able to help. I mean, I really hope this helps you guys. This business is incredible. Talking about it is incredible. And I love that we have so many different stories and people from all walks of life and all backgrounds. And I mean, it's amazing. Anybody can do this. And it sounds so like corny when you say like, that anybody can do this business and all of those things. Everybody says that, right? But it's so true. It's so true.
There's no job requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually there's a big job requirement and there's nothing. It's
no.
Anybody can do this. You're so right. And that's the exciting part. And that's what I hope everybody gets today from this call is just talking to her and the life she came from. I love that. You decided to change the destiny of your family because generations, it was that same way. And that is huge. We have the power within to do that. So I just thank you so much for that story and your life and your example to us. And just thank you so much for spending the morning with us. I know everyone on this call was motivated and excited, and we're ready to be better at what we're doing.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for inviting me to chat with you guys today.
Yes. Well, thank you. And everybody can unmute really quick and thank her.